President Benigno Aquino's first two SONAs had a common theme, eradicating the wangwang mentality. The wangwang mentality refers to an abusive form of governance where leaders neglect their citizens as they serve their own interests.
Kayo po ba? Gusto ninyong makulong ang lahat ng tiwali? Ako rin po. Gusto ba ninyong matanggal ang wangwang hindi lamang sa kalsada kundi sa kaisipang nagdulot ng baluktot na sistema na pagkatagal-tagal na nating pinagtiisan? Ako rin.
After reporting the achievements in the president's first year in office, the 2011 SONA outlined more of the administration's plans and promises that will further boost its campaign for good governance. President Aquino presented measures he wanted Congress to craft, none of which have been passed. These include one that would give due compensation to victims of martial law, a measure that will ensure decent pay for house help, a law that will improve the pension system for retired soldiers, a measure that will expand the scholarship program for science students, and one that will create facilities necessary during times of calamities. These bills remain on the shelf, like a number of more measures he also pushed in his 2010 SONA, like the Whistleblowers Bill and the Antitrust Bill. Several of the priority bills presented in the Legislative Executive Development and Advisory Council have yet to be passed as well.
We passed 32, and then yung 22 na natira, apart from the ones that I mentioned, are now in advanced stages of legislation, meaning nakarating na po siya sa Senado.
There are also some plans that seem to have experienced setbacks. In the 2011 SONA, President Aquino said the country would consider raising before the International Tribunal on the Laws of the Seas issues pertaining to territorial disputes with other countries. But despite China's recent aggressiveness in the West Philippine Sea, the Philippines has not yet gone to ITLOS, choosing to explore other diplomatic means to solve the crisis. Several projects under the Public-Private Partnership Program, which was announced in the President's 2010 SONA, have not yet been implemented as well. The PPP website says only one out of the 22 main infrastructure projects under the program has been successfully awarded as of July 2012.
Normally kasi diba, you have feasibility studies that have to be done, and these things take time. Hindi naman po yan lahat nasa pipeline na nung dumating ang administrasyon.
But there are promises that seem to be on the right track. The 66,800 backlog in classrooms is expected to be fully covered by next year. 85% of the population is now covered by the Philippine Health Insurance Corporation. The 5.2 million households identified as poorest of the poor by the National Household Targeting System are now all covered by PhilHealth. The Conditional Cash Transfer Program is expected to cover 3.1 million families by the end of 2012. Its proposed budget for next year is expected to cover an additional 700,000. The country is expected to become self-sufficient in rice next year, and the K+12 basic education program has been rolled out. As for employment, over 1.1 million jobs were created in 2011. This is 200,000 more than the average number of jobs generated every year in the past decade. But among all his promises, the president's campaign for accountability in government is where he clearly delivered. Former President Gloria Arroyo and other former public officials are facing corruption charges. Former Ombudsman Mercedes Gutierrez resigned after she was impeached in Congress. And Renato Corona was impeached as Chief Justice. The palace says these moves are confidence-building measures meant to show the world and prospect investors that this administration means business. And it seems to have worked. Credit ratings improved, the fundamentals are now more stable, and real money began pouring in the coffers. But some say government should start working on how to translate the concept of inclusive growth into something that's more tangible to the country's poor, wage increases, stable prices, and more job opportunities. Ina Andolong, Solar News.